Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, everybody that's coming in? Um, I am super excited to talk about this new topic that we're going to be talking about. But first, I did want to let you guys know that I did not go live last week because your girl's feelings was hurt. I lost a lot of footage that I was supposed to have for my other channel. And so I was in my feelings. You could say I was depressed, but it is what it is. It's time to move on. Let's, be thankful for what I have. And I have you guys. So today we're going to be talking about something completely different. Instead of talking about mental health or anything else, I wanted to dive into what's going on in the news, what people are talking about in the news, and like articles about stuff that's going on. And the number one thing that I wanted to talk about is a shortage on feminine products. Like now, the first it was formula, now it's feminine products, and it's crazy because a lot of us depend on it. Like, I shouldn't say a lot of us, we all depend on it on a regular basis. Like, we need our pads and tampons, and for it to be on the shortage end of things, like, it's like, why, how is this possible? So if you haven't gone out and snatched up a stock for yourself, I highly suggest it, because in some places there is a shortage. Luckily for me, I had a friend who dropped off a whole bunch of them from somebody else that she got them from, and we still got a whole bunch. And I keep buying them, thinking that we ain't got no more because they were scattered all over in the bathroom. But then I reorganized my bathroom, and I tell y'all, even between three girls, we do not need any feminine products for months. But I did wanted to talk to you guys about like different alternatives that you might be interested in. For me personally, I prefer to use like an alternative to pads and tampons. I personally don't like using pads or tampons. That's just my preference. I prefer to use like the soft cups or like the disc. And they look like these. Like they're like the package like this. And I'm gonna open this one because it's all right. I got a whole bunch of them. So it looks like this, and it's like plastic, and you just squeeze it and stick it in there. And this is what I prefer to use, like, especially when I'm on, like, it's that time of month. And it's the fact that, like, this lasts longer than a regular tampon. A tampon, you have to constantly keep taking it out and putting a new one in. This one holds up to, like, 12 hours, I think. And so I don't have to worry about it. Like, I prefer the disc. Now, this one, I prefer, like if I'm out and about, because those reusable ones, not every bathroom has a sink in the stalls. So when you're out and about, like, it's just easier to just have this because it's disposable. You can take it out, toss it, grab a new one and put it in, and then you can wash your hands. Whereas I have another version, which is a reusable one, meaning that like you can wash it and reuse it over and over again. Hey Reza, welcome. I appreciate you coming. So it's the same company. It's called Flex. It's the same company, but it's unlike other cups that I've noticed or seen. They always have like the little cup and then it has like the thing pointed out. This doesn't. It's basically the same thing as this one, but the material is so much different. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's not like the same material as a condom because, you know, condoms feel like rubber, but this is not like that. And this is more elastic than this one. This one is not as elastic. Whereas, like, I can stick my finger and it stretches out. Whereas this one, if I push too hard, it will break. You know, like, look, if I can get my finger out, see, like, it, it literally, it's not healthy. It's not good. Hey, Shauna. I don't know about anyone else. I hate having to deal with having a period every month. You and me both, girl. Like, you and me both. That's one of the reasons why I really liked the Depo shot, is because you don't get a period. But I did hear about a procedure where they burn the lining of your uterus, and that can help you not have periods. And I also heard that, like, that also helps with other health issues as well. But I will look into it. Contact your OBGYN and see what they say about you. I don't know what the procedure is called, but I do know that it's a procedure where they burn the lining of your uterus, and that way you don't have to worry about getting a period. It basically, like, gets rid of that lining and shedding. But yeah, I will look into it and see if that's something you. I prefer pads. I just don't trust sticking anything up there at all. I don't blame you, girl. I do not blame you. I know some people that just prefer pads altogether, and some people prefer tampons. Me personally, I don't like either. And I have a friend who actually does not like any of those. She rather just use cloth period pads, meaning like it's a cloth. You use it every as long as you need to, and then you throw it in a wash, and then you reuse it again. And I like the concept of that because it kind of reminds me of like cloth diapers, but it's for your period. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm excited to try this and see how it holds up compared to this, because I don't know if y'all can see compared to this, because I'm like Old Faithful when it comes to this. Like, I prefer my soft cups or my flexes. Like, they never failed me. So I'm hoping the company came through with the reusable one where I can just pop it in, take it out. And this will be mostly for like when I'm at home and I'm just lounging around. But if I do go out, I'm definitely going to try. I'm going to stick with these. If I'm like out and about and I'm not, like, there's no certain that I'm going to have a sink in the stall with me, then I'm just going to stick with these when I'm out and about. But when I'm just home relaxing and chilled, I'm just going to use this. How do you use them? So basically how you use them is you squeeze it in there, and then like you stick it in there, right? And then it should be like a little ink like cuff in there, and then you just lift it underneath the cuff, and then it's supposed to expand, and then that's how you use it. It's not that hard. It's like putting in a tampon, in my opinion. But the only difference is that you're not like using an applicator or anything. It's just this. And if you're the type of person that's like uncomfortable, or you wear long nails, I don't know what to tell you, but just make sure you bring a nail brush so you can clean underneath your nails. I personally don't like the long nails. That's just not me. I wore them this time for whatever reason, and you guys will see in my other channel how I lost these other nails. But and it has nothing to do with periods. But I did bought this to try it out. How do you take it out? You pretty much just find with this one, I just find the piece and then I just pull it out. But it can be messy. I'm not going to front with you. It can be messy using these because it's basically a cup. Like, it's holding everything. So when you pull it out, it can get messy. But that's why I was like, if you don't know where you're at and you don't know if you're going to have a stall, like a sink and a stall with you, then I usually use this one because it can get messy. And then if you're using the reusable cups, you don't want to walk out the stall with your hands all bloody with the bloody ass thing to rinse it off and then run back into the stall to stick it back in. Like, that makes no sense to me. I'd rather just make it easier for myself and then just pull this out, use the toilet paper to wipe my hands up, and then put another one in and then go get out of the bathroom to wash my hands. Like, that's just more convenient for me. I just don't have the patience. I buy the big adult pads, and sometimes I use the Depends. I will say that the pads that are like underwear, I don't know how to explain it. I know there was like one that was like Always, and it was like a like underwears, those were super soft. They were really comfortable to wear, and I used those when I was after I had a baby, when I had a Zara, and I actually really liked it. Like those were better than the hospital. Like the hospital usually gives you those big, huge pads with the mesh underwear, and I like the Always. I know it was Always, and they're like black, and but the material is so soft, and it was just comfortable wearing. It wasn't like anything crazy. But personally, me, I don't want to have to deal with anything. I don't want to have to feel like I'm wearing something. I'd rather just stick this in and just keep it going. I would be afraid of spillage on my clothes with that. See, and that's the thing. Like, you never really. The only issue, I will be honest, the only issue I ever really had with pulling them out is sometimes it gets messy, or you'll have drops on the toilet seat. But that's like an easy cleanup. And I know, some places they have like the spray sanitizer. So if you keep that in your bag, you could just spray down the toilet and wipe it down, so that way it's sanitized for the next person to use. But other than that, I never have issues. I swear by and the company is called Flex, and they also bought the other company's soft cups from the original owner. So they make both of the brands. One is just more eco-friendly because like the packaging is biodegradable. I don't even know what happened. Oh, and these things are biodegradable. So like instead of it sitting in a landfill, it actually degrades itself and it's more healthier for the earth. Whereas the soft cup brand, they're not. So I don't know. I like to be conscious of my contribution to the earth. And so I usually go with these. And it also does come with like a reusable pouch. So once you clean it, you can just stick it in there and use it for the next month. It doesn't feel, you don't feel anything. It's like putting in a tampon. You don't really feel anything. Personally, I don't know. I just always felt weirded by the other ones, the other cups, like the Diva cups and all that, because of the point. And it just really like it just looks uncomfortable to me. But I know other people use it and they don't have any issues. But me personally, it just looks off and weird. And the reason why, and another reason why I prefer the Flex cups or the soft cups is because you can have sex with them on. So even if you got your period, if you wanted to, you can still have sex. It's not going to do anything to you. Whereas the Diva cups, you can't do that. And same thing with tampons. You can't do that. You can't have sex with them in. It's just not wise. But at least with the Flex cup and the reusable one, you can have sex with them. And that's what I prefer. I know a lot of people aren't aware of it. Always does have period disposable. Yeah, see, I knew they did. And that's what I used when I had after my postpartum and everything. And I had no complaints. Like, they were really good. And I like the fact that, like, if it did have any leakage or any issues, like, because you know how it is when you have a baby, like, you just bleed forever. Like, it's black, so it's not like it's so noticeable. And then, like, it kind of, like, the material is soft, but it doesn't make it like where it's like waterproof, meaning like it doesn't bleed through and onto your clothes or anything like that. Well, and this one, it does take like a trial and error, and you know your body, you know how much you bleed. So like, even though this holds up to 12 hours, like I still change it like at least a couple times a day, just because like, I don't know about y'all, but I just know my body and know that when it's time to change it. And usually for me, when I have to change it is when I get a little bit of leakage and I'm like, oh, it's time to change. And that's when I usually wear like a thin panty liner, because then that way I don't have to worry about any messes or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I prefer. And I don't know if you guys are drinking, but I am. Leon got me some Mike lemonades, hard raspberry lemonade. Hey, I like it. This is my second one. I already started with the one. I'm already down one. He got me a 6-pack. So now I'm down to another one. So if you're drinking, let me know in the comments if you're drinking. But yeah, I wanted to talk about like the shortage and give you guys my alternatives that I like to use. And then also some other alternatives that other people I know that I know people that use the cloth period pads, which like from what I've seen is like they have like they connect underneath and attach to your panties. Like, it's no stickiness, because I know some people don't like wearing pads because of the stickiness, and like, because there's ones that are thin now, but like, if you're not a specific size, or you're the type of person that just didn't get the right size for yourself, it's possible that you'll end up having a sticky attached to you. And that's the part that I hate about pads. Because I don't like, I usually don't go for like the bulky pads, but yeah, I hate the sticky part of the pads. I hate that part. Like, that part just drives me crazy. And two, I personally don't wear drawers. I don't wear underwear. That's just me, because I prefer to be free, and plus, like, I don't know, I think it's maybe just me, but like, the underwear is so irritating for me. And so I prefer to be free, no underwear. And so when I get my period, I don't want to have to wear underwear just to wear a pad. It just makes no sense to me. But I do wear them. I have, we all have them. Let's be real. We all got period pads. I mean, period underwear. So like, there's a select few of underwears that we have that we wear during that time. And then when I wear them, that's when I put the panty liner on. Not drinking, just watching TV. Hey, that's not a bad thing. See, for us, it's like summertime for us, because I sent the kids to summer school, and they were like, we don't really have to go. And then when I picked up Araya, they were like, oh, she doesn't have to be here. She passed the year. She doesn't need any help. But so the kids don't have summer school anyway now. So now it's just like, it's free for us. Like, with summertime. And for me, I work from home. Leon works, but his work is not like he has to go 9 to 5. Like, it's not a set schedule for him. He can go and do what he wants to do when he feels like doing it. But yeah, either way, it just makes it easier. I don't like when the pads fold up and get thin and under your underwear gets stained up. Yes, exactly. Like, I hate that when they get bunched up or somehow like get folded up, and then you're stuck with it not doing its job. I don't like that either. So yeah, I prefer not to even deal with it. Like, it's not worth it to me. So yeah, I feel you, girl. Like, nope. I'm not with it at all. I will stick with my Flex cups. I will stick with the cups. And Flex cup actually has like another version, which is black, and it looks like a Diva cup. But when I seen that they had this option, I was like, oh, thank you. You was thinking of me. So the next topic I wanted to talk about was how sperm count is very low in men recently. Like, there was a research that found out that men are really exposed to a lot of chemicals that's causing their sperm count to be low, and which is not unusual, because we all have been exposed to certain chemicals, and that's why a lot of companies, or I should say a lot of laws, are going into place around in different states. And I know, if you ever notice, like, packages says it may cause cancer, or be aware something, this might cause this or that. And even how companies are like, oh, BPA free or paraben free, and so it's not a surprise that a lot of men are exposed to a lot of chemicals, and it's available. It's all in their bodies. And so, that's what happens with, the sperm count. But it's just really ironic, because, it makes you think about not just that aspect of it, but also like all the arguments about abortion. It's like, is this really about women's rights, or is this about what men's dealing with, like what men are dealing with when it comes to producing babies? Like, let's be realistic. And I'm gonna show you guys a website that I am going to show you. Of course, you're gonna be like, no, I can't do that. I guess I can't share it right now. Apparently, it's not gonna let me share it. I'm gonna have to set it up later. But I'm gonna read the article to you guys, and it says that a study of urine samples from nearly 100 male volunteers has uncovered alarming levels of endocrine disruptors known to reduce human fertility. And that's kind of crazy. Like 100 men, and they all have these specific chemicals in their bodies that's causing them to have low sperm count. And mind you, this study was done in Europe. It wasn't done in the United States. But we all know Europe has different rules and regulations when it comes to food and, products and everything like that. Like the stuff that we have over here, they do not have it in their products at all. Like you look at their ingredients and food and a whole bunch of other stuff is like this much compared to the long, huge list of things that we have in our products. So for them to do this study, and I'll probably put the link in the description box when I'm done, so that way you guys can, reference it back. But it's just the fact that a lot of it is mostly like BPA, which is a huge dominant risk factor when it comes to the low sperm count. And so it does make me think, that like, is this a problem in our country as well? I mean, I would assume so, because we have way more chemicals than everybody else does in our food and our environment, and the pollutions and everything. Like we have way more than other countries do. And so I'm not surprised at all. But are you guys surprised? There's chemicals in foods and deodorants. You never know what's going into your bodies. Exactly. Like, and that's the thing that I'm worried about as well, is like, is it in the foods, deodorants, body wash, laundry detergent, everything? Like it's in everything. But is this the issue that we're dealing with, and why, a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say people, a lot of states are fighting for, the abortion law? Like, why is this? Is it because, men cannot produce babies or produce the sperm that is necessary? Or is it because of something completely different, and they're claiming it to be something different? Like, because we know really deep down, men like to tell us what to do with our bodies rather than worrying about themselves. Like, y'all need to focus on the core issue. What is the core issue? And to me, it sounds like it's the chemicals. It's not us women doing what we want to do with our bodies. It's y'all. I feel like it's like they rather put the blame on somebody else rather than get into the core of the issues and making changes with the regulations. But they know once they do that, they're not going to make no money. When there's no money involved, then they feel some type of way about it. And I just think it's kind of interesting, why like all this is happening, and then that research literally pops up, and that just had my brains going like, are they really trying to pass this law or this bill about abortions because they're struggling? Or is it because, they believe in that all babies should be saved, or, every baby or cell is a baby in a life? But I feel like there's more to it than the ish that they're spewing. I think there's way more to it. I don't think it has really anything to do with, what they're claiming it to be. I think it has to do with the fact that men are struggling, and they're realizing that they're the problem and not women. And instead of saying, oh, it's us, and we need to make, lobby with these companies to do better with their products and the food, and they won't, because they know there's money involved in it. They're not going to lobby for us. They're not going to lobby for whoever needs to be, like, who it needs to be for. Instead, they're going to point the finger at somebody else and say, you're the problem, which is usually low income people or women. Like, let's be realistic. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I just feel like that's how it is, By the way, you look pretty. Thank you. This look only took me like 5-10 minutes. Like, I quickly did all this. And then Leon was like, oh, we should go out. And I was like, well, the place only closed at 10. And he was like, what's today? And I was like, it's Tuesday. He thought it was like Friday or Saturday where we can just go out and do something. But I'm like, no, it's only Tuesday. I think it's more of a control thing. I think so too. Like, I really believe that it's a control thing. And then, like, because if you really think about it, the same brands that we have over here is available in Europe. But if you look at the difference between the ingredients that ours have compared to other, countries, and I want to just say Europe, there's Germany, there's, Spain and all them. And even Leon says when he used to do tours all around the world, he said that when he went there, like the way they cook is not the same way. He said McDonald's and Burger King, all those fast food places, it doesn't taste the same because they're not using all those chemicals in the food that we use. So, it just makes me think like they're not lobbying, and I shouldn't even say them, it's these companies, they're lobbying to these, political people and saying, if you vote for this, we'll put money in your pocket. And that's the thing. And that should not even be allowed. But I think, I don't, Leon's the history buff. So I have to ask him, when did it become legal for companies to do that? Because at one point, I remember it wasn't like that, where companies can go to, political people and be like, hey, if you vote for this, you will get money out of this. And that's the problem. And I think that should end. Like, companies should not be allowed to go and buy a vote from somebody. Like, no, why do you care about that money in your pocket instead of what's good for the people? And people are just, ugh, it's so annoying. Like, it's all about capitalism. It's all about money and greed and power. It's never about what's really necessary for the people. And I'm starting to see that, certain things that pop up, and I've realized that, like, NPR or any other like news people that is not basic or like local, I want to say like, CNN or Fox News, those are more biased than, unbiased. But if you look at like other resources, they tell you straight what it is. They don't care. But you don't get that from people over here. Like, it's not the same here as it is in other places. But I think it's interesting because I seen that article and I was like, really? Okay. So it's the men's problem. Y'all trying to be controlling. Y'all just in your feelings because you're not pumping out what you need to pump out. And so that brings me to my next thing I wanted to talk about, which is Delta 8. And, a lot of people are pushing for marijuana to be legal. And I'm not against it. Like, I'm all for it. Like, hey, why is it that this dude got like 20 years for selling weed, but then now all of a sudden weed is getting legalized and he's still sitting in jail? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, why? Like, they should be getting out of jail for selling weed if we're going to make it legalized or decriminalize it anywhere. Like, people that are sitting in jail for possession of weed, like, come on now. Like, let them go home. Let them go home if you're going to be doing all this. And so in our state, it's illegal for medical, and Philly is decriminalized. But when they did the legislation and the bill and all that, they didn't make it specific on what was legal and what wasn't legal. So in a way, Delta 8 kind of fell through the cracks. And so it's legal, but it's not regulated, meaning that so many companies and so many distribution places, they figured out a way to make basically marijuana less mild, but sell it legally without having any regards to the regulations, the FDA, nothing. Like, there's nothing. The only concerns that I personally have is the fact that they're not testing it for like chemicals or like bacteria or anything like that. So that's my main concern of the whole situation. But at the same time, I feel like it should stay legal. That's just my personal opinion. Because it's not as extreme as Delta 9. Delta 9 is where you get like the extreme high. You're extremely like comatose. That's all I can say. You're comatose when it comes to you smoking regular weed, which is THC, but there's like different terminologies from, and it's called Delta 8. And Delta 8 is basically a mild version of Delta 9, which is the full-blown THC that most of us are aware of and we know, but a lot of people don't know that there's different versions of it and there's different strains. So different strains do different things. Delta 9 is on a different level than Delta 8, and I've tried both. Don't get me wrong, I've tried both, and I feel like Delta 8 is less of a high, like, and some of them you don't even get high off of. It's more of like a medical version of it without the high. I don't know how to explain it, but it's different than what I'm used to. Like, I know what to expect when I smoke or when I eat an edible. I know what to expect. But with the Delta 8, it's more mild. It's because I tried it out when, like, I want to say last year. We went to the Crab Fest, and I knew I wasn't gonna drink. I knew I didn't want to drink because I know myself. Like, I can't really drink. Like, I already had one and I'm feeling it now. So, and this is just a mic lemonade. Like, it's not even that serious. Like, come on, Vicky. But and I took an edible and I ate the whole, it was like a Rice Krispie treat or whatever like that. And I ate the whole thing so that way I can enjoy myself and it be chilled and calm and stuff like that. Because I didn't drink. I didn't want to drink. And I wasn't high. I was just like chilled. Like, when I say I was chilled, I was chilled. Like, I knew there was people behind me talking shit. I knew that there were shady people standing around me. I just didn't give a fuck. I was enjoying myself. I had fun and I was happy and in a good place. And so I didn't really feel like I was high. I didn't feel high. I was just like, yes, like, I'm chill, I'm calm, I'm relaxed. Like, I don't care what none of these people are saying. I don't give a fuck about these shady ass people. I don't give a fuck about these bitches behind me talking shit. So, like, it just put me in a mindset of like, let's have fun, let's relax, let's enjoy ourselves for the night. And so if you haven't tried regular marijuana, then you wouldn't know. But like, regular marijuana, it gets you really high, and that one, it was like a whole different experience. Like, it was not the same for me. So, like, I understand the concerns because most of it was unintentional exposure, which I'm an eye roll on that one. Really unintentional. But, I'm going to eye roll on that one. And then and other percentages was like, pediatric exposure, meaning like kids got exposed to it. But again, it makes me eye roll because, like, how did that happen? Marijuana is a cannabis, and hemp is like a huge business right now. And I know a few people that really got into it and they're making bank. And I'm so happy for them because I've known them personally and I know what their struggles are. And the fact that they invested in themselves and invested in something that's going to continue to grow even more. And they're really doing successfully in the business. I'm just like super hyped for them. But at the same time, it's like, come on now. Can we let these people out of jail for selling what the government is trying to get paid off of? Like, come on now. Girl, this part is interesting. I never heard about this before. I guess because I don't smoke. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like, and I'm not really like a big smoker type of person. Like, that's just not me. But when I seen the article, I was just like, this is interesting. And mind you, this article was specifically for like Harrisburg, like our state. It wasn't necessarily for other states. It was more so for our state. And the thing about it is, like, they said 40% of those calls for poison control, like, I don't know. I just think this is bull BS, but this is just me. Between January 2021 and March 2022, the poison control have received over 2,000 calls related to Delta 8. So 40% of them were involved unintentional exposure, which I don't believe how that's possible unless somebody else is smoking and you're in a big ass room and there's a whole bunch of smoke. Like, I don't understand how an unintentional exposure, that makes no sense. And then 82% of them were pediatric patients, meaning they were kids. Again, how is that possible? Like, how are you allowing your child to be around the stuff? Like, I don't get it. Like, how do you even allow it to be accessible to other kids? Like, that makes no sense to me. So, our Senator Judy Swank, which is our Berks County senator, which I love her. Like, she's awesome. I've been to her office. I spoke to her personally, so I have nothing negative to say about it. But she said that her concerns were with middle schoolers and elementary schoolers and high schoolers who are vaping with Delta 8 in it. And that makes a lot of sense to me because I was like, how is these pediatric patients, like, how are these kids doing it? And I'm now, when I read it, I was like, okay, now that makes a lot of sense because I see kids all the time vaping. Like, and I've had people tell me that like 5th graders are vaping in the bathrooms and 6th graders are vaping in the bathroom. And I'm like, what? where are they getting this from? Like, how are you even getting this? And so, me being the clueless person, not realizing the kids are actually like stealing. They're stealing this stuff, not from their parents, but they're going to a store and stealing it. And what it is that people are not really thinking about it, like, especially depending on what area you live in. They're not thinking that this kid is going to go and steal it. So it's just like, why are these kids vaping? Like, what is going on? Like, it's not cool. It's very extremely dangerous. Like, I heard that there's metals inside of these vape pens, and they can make you really like cause problems to your breathing and your health. So it's like, what in the world? I heard that vaping is bad or worse than smoking. It is, and I've heard this. I've read a lot of articles, and I've heard from other people that vaping is worse than cigarettes. But that also brings me to another subject that I did see that I wasn't going to talk about it on here, but I might as well. But companies are now going to have to stop putting menthol in cigarettes. Tobacco companies, I should say. They're not going to be allowed to put menthol in their cigarettes anymore. So it's either going to be straight tobacco, or eventually at some point, I feel like once they remove the menthol from cigarettes, tobacco companies are going to go away. Like, it's never going to be the same unless you're somebody that smokes cigarettes and you don't get the menthol. But I think that's the majority of the businesses, like the tobacco companies' revenue is from menthol cigarettes. And and I think that's a way to kind of like, I would say mostly for the Black community, because think about it. If you think about somebody with a pack of Newport 100s that are menthol, you automatically think of Black people, because that's what they were advertising all through the 90s. You see a Black person in the advertisement with a cigarette, and it was always a Newport menthol cigarette. So, like, I feel like that's why that they're legislate. I don't know. I can't talk, but I think that's why they're pushing for tobacco companies to get rid of the menthol, is because mass majority of people that are smoking the menthols are Black people in the Black communities, and so they're trying to get rid of it so that way it's no longer promoted or advertised to Black people anymore, so that way Black people will quit smoking. Because I know personally, if they get rid of menthol, I'm quitting. I'm going cold turkey. Like, and y'all know I smoke cigarettes, so once the menthol is gone, I'm done. I'm not even gonna pick up a vape. I'm quitting cold turkey. And I think the menthol is kind of more addicting than the actual tobacco in itself. And it's crazy because, like, I have notice myself holding the cigarette and not even lighting it, and it's just like the hand movement. But I have alternative options, and I did a video or a sponsorship for a company who do like smokeless cigarettes, where it has like the same like feel and same like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it gives you the same impression of you smoking a cigarette, but you're not smoking a cigarette. It's just air. That's all you're smoking. So yeah, and cigarettes is addicting. It really is. And that's why people really gravitate towards menthol cigarettes, is because it's more the menthol that's addicting than the actual cigarette, in my opinion. Right now, my mother-in-law, she's trying to quit smoking. I think this is like day 6 for her. And she's been smoking way longer than I have. She's been smoking probably way before I was even thought of. And so for her, like, she's been smoking her whole life. And, for her to try and quit, it's hard. It's hard for people, older than, I want to say 50 and older, to quit smoking, because it was so accessible for them to get it. Like, it was easy for them to just go to the corner store and say, my mom wants a pack of cigarettes. And that was before they even came up with the idea of 18-year-olds can only buy cigarettes and you have to be ID'd and all that. Like, way before that, they even had machines. I remember this as a kid. They had machines for cigarettes, like to get cigarettes out of a machine at a bar. Like, so for them, it's a whole different ball game. But for me and for other like younger kids, it's different, because they have to ask like I would say anybody under 21, they have to ask somebody over 21 to be like, hey, I'll give you the money. Can you buy me this? Can you buy me a wrap? Can you buy me cigarettes? Usually I'd be like, boy, if you don't get out my face, if not, I said I should. And then sometimes I'd be like, I should beat your butt right now. Why are you asking people to buy you cigarettes? Why are you asking people to buy you blunts? Like, no, bye. Like, I should beat your butt right now and go tell your mama. But it's really like that. But it's a whole different era for older people because they're trying to quit smoking but they can't because they've been smoking their whole life. And and the products is not the same. It's not like how it used to be. And it's the same thing with marijuana. It's not like how it was before, probably before I was even thought of again. But it's not the same. And now that it's regulated through the government, it's a whole different thing because they're putting their requirements on the paper. And it kind of makes me scared because the FDA is very fickly when it comes to certain things because they have regulations that is nothing compared to other countries. Like you can go to Amsterdam and you can smoke as much weed as you want, but their regulations and their laws on it are not as restricted as it is here. And they require, like, I want to say they require things to be as natural as possible, so it's not like how it was when, we were kids or before that. So yeah, it's not the same. I remember that my cousin was just going to the store buying his mom cigarettes. Yeah, see, like then like it was easy for kids to have access to cigarettes, and even marijuana. It was easy access, but now it's starting to become more restricted. And it's still kind of easy because some people will just be like, all right, I'll get it for you. I'm not that type of person. I ain't doing it. If I go to the corner store and some kids standing at the corner talking about, can you buy? I'm not buying shit for you. I'm gonna beat your butt and go get your mama because I don't want to be involved in none of that. Like I don't even want my kids to do it. So no. But yeah, it's kind of like scary in my opinion because like what is the FDA approving and what are their requirements and what are they allowing? And mind you, all this has to go through a panel of members on the board. And it's kind of scary, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just weird because there's so many chemicals in our food and our body products and the air. And it's like, what are you allowing for us to have when it comes to the medical marijuana? What are you allowing us to have in these tobacco company products? Like, what is available to all this? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know if I like this. I know. I hope she's able to quit too. I need to quit myself. Leon wants to quit too. But it's just so hard. It's hard to quit, especially when we have so many stressors going on. When you have a lot of stress going on, it's hard to quit. And, for somebody like me, I don't want to depend on, anxiety meds all the time, especially when I'm having anxiety. And so it's like, which is the worst? The anxiety meds or the cigarette? Like, which one is worse? And it's like hard to decide because, I don't know. It's just like you want to do better and be better, but it's like, which one is worse? Do I take the medication or do I smoke the cigarette? It's like, I don't know. But yeah, I hope she does quit. It'll be good for her to quit. Then it needs to be Leon, and then I'll quit. I mean, I could probably do it. I did it for a while. Like, I think I was clean for about 2.5 months, and then I went right back to it. But I was doing good. I think I quit like a week before I had Azara, and then like for like the couple a week. I think it was because like I was so determined to breastfeed that I didn't want to smoke while I was breastfeeding. So it kind of worked itself out. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about for these lives. I hope, you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, so if you guys don't have anything else to say, then I'm definitely going to check y'all later because, it's getting late and I still haven't taken my medicine. That lets you know that I'm manic right now because typically I'd be ready to pass out right now. on a regular day. No, not those. So, yeah. Yeah, it was a great live stream, and I want to do a lot more like this where I'm discussing like articles and stuff that's going on. If you guys are interested, I want to add in like celebrities too, like because I be seeing some stuff that I want to talk about that be like, but I don't know if you guys will be interested in it. If you guys are interested in like celebrity gossip and talk about celebrities and stuff like that, I'm down. Just let me know if you are, and we could talk about celebrities. If you want to talk about a YouTuber or another influencer, we could talk about that too. So yeah, I want to kind of like keep it mixed up and fun and engaging, not just, the same thing all the time. But if you guys are open to that, I will make videos about that too. We would do lives and sit and chit chat and talk about that. Like, it's whatever y'all want. Like, what you want, I'm going to give it. Like, I'm down for all that. And I should have been to this, but like me all in my head, overthinking stuff. I'm always doing that. I'm always overthinking things. But yeah, if you guys are open to doing gossip and celebrities and influencers, we can do that too. I'm interested. We can talk about anything. I learned some things too. Yeah, I want to talk about anything and everything. Like whatever's going on, I definitely would be open to that. Like I would love to be able to do like to cover a wide range of things. Like I don't want this to just be about mental health or spirituality. I want this to be a collective thing about everything. And we can just sit here and kiki haha and enjoy ourselves at night, whether if you're like today's Tuesday, y'all probably got to work tomorrow. So y'all could just listen while you're getting yourself ready for the night. You don't have to comment. You could just enjoy the conversation and, listen in, because I know I could talk forever. So I don't necessarily need y'all to be in the comments because I could just go on and on and on forever. I'm interested. Yeah, see, and I learned some things too when I was looking at these articles, like, because sometimes I have a Samsung Galaxy, so like it gives you the option to swipe over when you're on the homepage, and then it gives you like a list of articles that they're showing. So like what I did was I started sending them like the links to myself, so that way I was like, okay, that's a topic I can talk about. And it even brings up like celebrity stuff and everything, and I'm like, I've been wanting to talk about this Johnny Depp stuff, and if y'all are interested, I'm going to break it down, the whole trial, everything, including her interview after the fact. Yeah, I'm down for that. I want to talk about that so bad. Yes, I'll be back on Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. My goal is to do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays at 9:30 Eastern time. If I don't make it, I probably just quickly I might just do a video real quick and then make it a premiere. But usually I would try and come on, and if I don't even do that, I might just come the next day and pop on and do a live with you guys. Because, life is crazy. So I can't predict if I'm not going to be able to make it or not. But my goal is to do at least 3 lives a week for you guys. Yes. Right. I'm so happy for her too. I'm like, yes, quit smoking. I try not to put the cigarettes out in her face. I try to be respectful and, because I know she's trying to quit. So I'm like, okay. When she comes around me and I have a cigarette, I try to put it out real quick so that she's not smelling it. I'm trying to do my part. I came in late, but I'm loving the vibes. Can't wait to watch the next live. Yes, let's talk about everything. Yay! I'm so glad you guys want to talk about everything. Yeah, because I want to talk about everything. I don't want things to be all somber and sad and stuff. Like, some things I do want it to be like fun and entertaining, as well as like we can laugh and kiki and haha and have fun. Okay, cool. So next video, I'm probably going to do some research, pull up some stuff, and then I'll make sure to set up my share screen so that way you guys can see some stuff that I wanted to share with you, because I did want to share with you guys the articles that I seen, but I'll make sure to put the links in the description box once this ends, so that way if you guys want to reference it back and read for yourself, I will definitely let you have that, because I know it's interesting, but you know, you never know. You might learn something else and then venture off into the rabbit hole and learn more stuff. All right, guys, I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you guys are liking. If you're new, subscribe. If you're on my Facebook account and you guys are enjoying this, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you're following me, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.